Hi, welcome to my first YouTube channel video. I'm decided to make this YouTube video on this channel because I'm doing a bookshelf tour with Timothy Kenny on his channel. You should check it out. It's coming out in about a month. Um, yeah, I decided to call this channel Prole on a Dole because I'm on disability. I'm not actually on the dole. I'm on disability. That's because I had a mental health crisis back in 2020 and again in 2023, where I developed psychosis after experimenting with weed. And the second time was not caused by weed, but it was just a bit of a hiccup. So I've been kind of rebuilding my life since then. And after my last psychotic episode in 2023, I decided if I'm going to be unemployed, I want to dedicate my life towards something to keep me going. Because, fun fact, psychosis can actually deplete the grey matter in your brain and cause memory fog and confusion. Kind of not like dementia, but kind of like dementia-like symptoms gradually over time. The longer you spend in psychosis, the more deteriorated your brain gets. So I want to keep my brain active. I was like, if I'm going to be unemployed, I need to keep myself going, you know what I mean? So I decided to get into reading, and I was already a Christian at the time, so I decided I'm going to read the Bible from cover to cover. So I read about pretty much like 85% of the Bible cover to cover, and then I moved on to the Quran, which I actually tried to read first in psychosis, which was a fun experience. Let me tell you that, especially since it's like very non-sequential. Is that the word? Like it's out of order. So I was like, and then I read the Bhagavad Gita. I probably lacked context for the terminology in it at the time, but it's a very good book. And then I had a bit of experience with reading. I read a lot of modern classics as a teenager. Um, I was the ultimate performative male. Before they even existed, I read On the Road, and that was like my favorite book. I fancied myself a bit of a would-be adventurer, although I never thought I had the means to travel. Although when I discovered I had the means to travel by working when I graduated secondary school, um, that's when the pandemic happened. I'd actually been saving up money to go hitchhike across Europe. I was a bit naive, um, depending on your perspective. Yeah. Um, so I never thought I had the ability to read books that were like mythologized by our culture, like the Greek classics, philosophy. So when I kind of read the Bible and read the Quran, I was like, I could just buy books that I never thought I could read. And for a while, I thought I ran out of books to read about religion. Uh, yeah, as stupid as that sounds, looking back now, I was like, I don't know if you can see it there, but right there, I can't show you the cover because it's the Kama Sutra. I was like, I'll just buy the Kama Sutra. I've heard loads about it. It's mythologized by our culture. I'll buy it. And yeah, so I was like, I could just buy books. Um, so that was the start of my self improvement journey and working towards bettering my life. Then I started my journey towards quitting smoking. At the worst of it, I was smoking about 40 cigarettes a day, up to 60 cigarettes a day at the worst of it. And yeah, I decided I need to get off them, although I felt there was no way to get off them. But like, one thing I will say is I couldn't have done it without my family. Um, but But as with all things in self improvement and getting, I don't know, that sounds like such a cliche term, but all things in bettering yourself, you need to take your own initiative. You need to take life into your own hands. But it really helps if you have a solid support network. We are social animals after all. You know what I mean? My aunt said if you decide to go on the vapes instead of smoking, I'll pay for 50% of the reusable vape. Um, Not like long term, just like the actual vape pen. So I went that and on that, and then I was smoking and then vaping half the week, and smoking half the week. So I was able to afford maybe to actually like buy coffee and pay rent. And then the budget came out a few years ago now, maybe 2 years ago, and it was like the price of reusable vapes are going to be doubling. So I was like, no, I never touched a cigarette again after that budget came out. So I actually quit vaping and cigarettes without having any cravings because obviously I was on a very high percentage of nicotine on the vape. So actually didn't have cravings going on the vapes when I quit the smokes. It was more about a mental thing, getting over the love of smoking and the ritual of it, which was kind of a lot of sucking on the vape pen like 24/7. Like it wasn't out of my mouth, but I was pretty much like that with cigarettes anyways. You imagine like 40 to 60 a day. Um, yeah, so then I had to work myself off that. So I was like, how am I going to do that? I came up with a strategy for getting off the vapes. I had a year to get off them, basically, before they doubled the price. So when I thought it would be 6 months, but it ended up being a year. So I managed to get off them without any cravings. I'll make a video perhaps in the future about how I'd done that without cravings. Because I know a lot of people, like, quitting nicotine is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. And I never would have been able to do it cold turkey. I know people who have all strength to them. Um, yeah, so my next goal is losing all this weight I've gained because of the medication. So that's my next goal. Like, if I could tell you anything for your mental health journey, I'd say have a stable routine. Stability. You need stability in your life. You need routine. For me, it's been mass. I'm Catholic religiously, not dogmatically though, and culturally, and I guess that. And the act of mass. I mean, it's participatory, so and it's also repetitive. It's the same thing pretty much every day with different readings. So you're repeating the same phrases. It's in a community setting. And even the symbolism. I might make a video about the symbolism behind mass, particularly the liturgy of the Eucharist. I find it really interesting. The course I'm going to be studying in university in September that I'm aiming towards doing is actually theology and religious studies. So as you can tell, I'm a bit of a nerd about that sort of stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of been stability, routine, good sleep hygiene. I've been struggling with that one, but I kind of got a bit of a hang on it. And community. Community is a good one. You need a strong family support. And then friends are going to be, friends come and go, but if you find yourself like one or two really good friends, and don't rush into it. Like, people think they're going to make that connection with a friend instantly. That's like something that you work over for like 10 years. So yeah, stability, routine, good sleep hygiene, good community, and also you need to challenge yourself. If you don't think you're a smart person, challenge yourself to learn. If you don't think you're a sporty person, obviously me, I'm going to have to figure out that one. Get yourself on a 10k steps a day, 5 days a week. Not too far, like maybe 4 days a week, that's enough. Even just cutting one thing that has 100 plus calories in your daily diet that you have every day, cut it out. Unless it's like something that is really keeping you going, like a coffee or something, you know what I mean? Only something small like a coffee though. If it's like a pizza a day, maybe cut that out. You have to challenge yourself to overcome and achieve in a way you never thought you could. Once you start having the feeling of achieving things, it's like a drug. It's better than any cigarette. It's better than any drug. When you feel like you're overcoming things, I want to go into Nietzsche at some point in this channel. I'm still learning about all of his philosophy, but I'm doing a part-time course in philosophy at the moment, so that's come up a lot. Like, I will say, our will to exert ourselves over ourselves and our environment is the big drive that keeps us going forward in life. But I think Nietzsche may be in a bit too much of an individualist for his own good, because you do need people as well. We are social animals, you know what I mean? So overall on this channel, I want to talk about politics to an extent, culture. I'd love to talk about like revival of seasonal festivals, Irish mythology, Irish culture, not approaching culture from an exclusionary point of view, although, whatever your opinions on my immigration, whatever, you're welcome here. But like, I want to approach Irish culture from like a de-anglicization point of view, like reclaiming what was before a lot of our culture got wiped out. I want to talk about just things that interest me: history, theology, philosophy, self-improvement, and self-education primarily. And those are the things I want to talk about. So if you want to stay around and join me, yeah, it's kind of a mix mash of everything, and just throw my ideas out there and tracking my progress as well to an extent. So see you around, and hopefully you have a good one.